What up, movie lovers? Welcome back to the Apocaflix Movie News Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Bartley, and I'm joined again by my fellow movie partners, Jake Berlin and Gio Ramos. What's up, Jake?
Not much, man. Talking movies. Glad to be back.
Yeah, what's up, Gio, the movie news guru?
I have a prediction that Deadpool will be your all-time favorite comic book movie.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's right now.
That's a bold prediction.
I won't go that far, but I think it'll be top 3.
You know, Avengers is my number 3 movie of all time. So if that happens, then that means Deadpool's gonna, be in my top 10 of all time. Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, for those of you who don't know how this works, Gio Ramos, he gathers the news stories for us throughout the week and, picks the most important ones. We're actually doing things a little bit different. We have a little less subjects this time. We're trying to keep our podcast shorter for all you people. We know you don't have all the time in the world to listen to us, but if you listened last week, you might have noticed at the end of the podcast, we did a little rapid fire run. So I think that's going to become a regular segment here for Apocaflix Movie News. So without further ado, Gio, what do we got first as far as regular movie news topics?
The first one is we have new announcements for release dates for Fast and Furious 8, 9, and 10. Well, 8's already been announced. Furious 8's coming out April 14, 2017. But now we have announcements for Furious 9 and 10. So 9 comes out on April 19, 2019. 10 will come out April 2nd, 2021. So for the next 5 years, we're going to be getting Fast and Furious movies every other year. So I'm going to go first to start off with this one. I think this is a great move. Blockbusters are all about planting flags on these release dates. That's how it is for all these studios. You have a Marvel, every time they announce a film, they always plan a release date, and nobody seems to put in another movie, a rival studio, next to that release date. And I feel like these Fast and Furious movies have become, like, pretty much their own, like, powerhouse in the blockbuster industry. People love these characters. They love the franchise, the saga now. And these movies have only gotten bigger and bigger. I'm curious now they're going to have to go smaller, in my opinion, and I'm curious to see how audiences are going to react to that. I definitely think they need more cast members because there's some empty voids on that, empty spots on that team now, with the retiring of the O'Connor character, Paul Walker, Han and Giselle both meeting their doom in, Tokyo Drift and Furious 6, and so I want to see more characters return. The next movie's going to take place in New York, so that's going to be exciting. And, I'm excited about it. 8, 9, and 10. Who would have thought, 20 years of Fast and Furious? 20 years.
Wow. When did the first movie come out?
2001.
2001.
Wow. That is 20 years.
I was 11 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so, Jacob, man, what do you think about this?
I mean, it's all right. We knew these movies were coming, and I'm gonna call it right now. 10 will not be the last Fast and Furious movie. They're gonna keep making them. It's a worldwide recognizable name. Mm-hmm. They're gonna keep making it, and then when they're done, they're gonna reboot it. And Vin Diesel's gonna be an old man, Obi-Wan Kenobi style, passing the torch in Fast and Furious 18. Like, this franchise is gonna go on forever. It's not my favorite franchise, but I get why he's announcing these release dates, but personally, I don't really care. Like, it's not like, I love the comic book genre too, but I don't feel like we need to know 7 years from now when the next Justice League movie is going to come out. But I get it. It's different because you have a shared universe with different characters, and you want to figure out, when they're going to line up, and there's so much speculation involved with these movies. Like, you can speculate what that Flash movie is going to be about in 2019 or whenever it comes out. You can't really speculate what Fast 10 is going to be about. Like, because there's no real source material or there's no direction for this franchise to head in. Like, there's, with Marvel, you got Thanos. With, with DC, you got Darkseid. There's an end game. There's no potential end game in mind for Fast.
That could be a good thing.
Could be a good thing, but it's not like the comic book genre where there's such a rich history where you can draw from and speculate.
Mythology,
but I'm not mad at it at all. Like, I love Vin Diesel. I love his enthusiasm about it. So I mean, it's cool, but I personally don't care.
Jake.
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. The movies make tons and tons of money, and why wouldn't a studio would want to bank off that? I mean, and Vin Diesel seems like he's happy doing all of them, so why not do them? I'm one who believed that the franchise should have ended after Fast 7 or Furious 7. I thought it wasn't just a perfect send-off for Brian O'Connor, but I thought it was a perfect ending to the whole story. Everything kind of came around, and it worked out very well. But obviously, they're going to make more. I'll be sitting my butt in the seat watching them, and going off your point saying you want to see more characters. I actually like the idea of less characters.
Oh yeah,
because what we saw with Furious 7 is The Rock was in like 2 scenes. Now you can put him in the movie more instead of.
I actually agree with that.
I think you'll see one character return. I think it'll be Eva Mendes' character. I think she'll be back because she's the only one left who has yet to return.
Well, go ahead. Never mind.
And so, we don't know how big of a role Jordana Brewster is going to have, who's Vin Diesel's sister in the movie, which she probably won't have a role at all. I don't know. So that leaves Dom, Tyrese, and Ludacris, and Michelle Rodriguez, The Rock, and Eva Mendes. I mean, that's 7 right there.
Well, they have enough characters.
Yeah,
to
and I would like to see this small knit group, and plus you have Kurt Russell who's going to be in there. I wouldn't mind seeing more characters, obviously, because there's more to return from the past movies. Like, I'd love to see Lucas Black return from Tokyo Drift. I think he kind of got.
There's been rumors about that.
He kind of got the short end of the stick for Furious 7, but I probably, who knows if that'll happen. But as for them releasing all the release dates, it's whatever. I mean, we're not going to see them for years and years, and like you said, they're planting flags, and the movies make billions of dollars worldwide, so it's an obvious move for them.
Well, the 2 people I want to see come back, just real quick before we move on, is Don Omar and Tego, the Dominican guys.
Oh yeah,
I thought they're
from
Fast 2?
from
Fast 5.
4 and 5.
Oh,
Fast
from
5.
Fast 4 and 5?
Yeah, how they go back and forth, and joking all the time.
What about Bow Wow, man? No one wants to see Bow Wow back?
Well, if he would have to, if he made a return, that would be with Lucas Black.
With Lucas Black?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see Bow Wow be a main character, but it would be cool, a little cameo, I think. But I wouldn't mind seeing Lucas Black. I mean, I don't know how his acting skills are these days, but I wouldn't mind him.
He's on some cop show on TV,
filling that void of not taking over Paul Walker's role, because that's too
There's
him
no
and
one
Vin Diesel.
nobody can do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No one can. But he can go to the bottom of the list as far as
Well, not only that, but his thinking about it as a Fast and Furious style, his driving style is so much different from the rest.
Oh yeah, definitely. So.
And I wanted to add one more thing. While making these next 3 movies, I want to see more street racing. I want them to go back to the basics.
Well,
of what the
didn't
movie
F.
was.
Gary Gray say something about that?
I want to see actual street racing.
If they do something like that, where the first act of the movie is set in the underground street racing world, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then they go to space at the end.
Maybe Kurt Russell's character sends them on an undercover mission where they have to be street racers.
That would be cool.
All right, so let's talk a little Alien here. Ridley Scott gave us an update on Alien Covenant. He says Noomi Rapace will not return for the sequel. She was in the Prometheus movie. She will not be returning. So as far as that goes, it'll be just Fassbender's David character, Michael Fassbender's David character, returning. And he gave an update on the story. He says the story will take place 10 years after the events of Prometheus, with a new crew stumbling onto the remains of the Prometheus ship, and they'll cross paths with Fassbender's character. So I know one of us is a little bit about this news. So Jake, why don't you take it, man?
Well, okay, so I know you actually watched Prometheus last night. And
really? For the first time? Oh, okay.
First time I wasn't paying attention.
So you're it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Okay.
And Jacob and I we've talked about it. We're both kind of so-so on the movie, but when you watch Prometheus, it's a clear indication that the sequel, if it was ever going to happen, was supposed to focus on these 2 characters. And with this news coming out, saying that she's not going to return, but Michael Fassbender is, they're kind of pulling in a way, a G.I. Joe retaliation move, where they're erasing everything from the first one, but rebooting it at the same time, and it kind of pisses me off in a way because, you know, Ridley Scott did this to do a prequel to Alien and whatnot, but now Prometheus didn't work, so now he's kind of evolutionizing it into an Alien movie, and it's kind of erasing everything that was good from Prometheus. One of the best parts of Prometheus was Noomi Rapace. She was so good in the movie. The movie was based around her, basically, and her story. So for me, it does kind of upset me just because, and you know, I see them making the move that she died in the 10 years of the events between the two movies and whatnot, and I get that you want to focus on the David character because he is an interesting character. But it does kind of make me mad because they're kind of, you know, now they're moving forward with Alien instead of Prometheus when that story was nowhere near told all the way. And yeah, I mean, it could end up working out. I mean, I don't know. It was a long time till then, but I don't like it personally. So
yeah, I kind of feel the same exact way. I wonder if this is creative reasons or she didn't want to come back or something like that. But look, like I was telling you earlier, Jake, I'm not a huge diehard Alien fan. I like the movies. I watched them when I was younger. I enjoy them a lot. They're creepy as hell, especially the first two. But I'm not totally invested in the franchise. So I wasn't butthurt about Prometheus, nor is this news going to affect me too much. But my only interest in seeing a Prometheus sequel was to see what did she do after that.
Yes.
Where did she go?
Yes.
What was her journey
Exactly.
after that? And I really enjoy the David character as well. Like, I wanted them together, you know, on this, like, what happens after that? And that's why I was intrigued. Now I don't really care to see the movie. Like, you know, and it's not, she's a really good actress. I actually think she's a really good actress, but it's nothing, you know, it's not like, damn it, I wanted to see Noomi Rapace back. It's more about the character and the way that movie ended. It's like, when you watch the second one and then you go back and watch them when they're both on DVD, you watch them back to back, it's going to feel so not like a sequel, you know? It's just going to feel like, you know, they did the same thing with the Planet of the Apes movies, the two movies. Like, they did a 10-year jump and had the main character die within that time period and not be alive. And at first, when I heard that Franco wasn't going to be in the sequel, I was upset, but the way they executed it in the movie was brilliant. One of the best movies to come out in the last 5 years. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, right?
Yep.
So, I don't know. You never know. They can do something like that and then make it make sense, and then we could love it. But as of now, I hate this. I wanted to see her back. I wanted to see the journey her character went on with David after the events of Prometheus.
Yeah, and it kind of like, because when it ended, like, she was so pissed off, and she was going to go after these engineers, and it's like, are we even going to see engineers? It seems like we're going to get all aliens instead of the engineers. So the Prometheus sequel stuff, I'm just kind of not liking, or not longer Prometheus, it's called Alien now. So,
well, I'm more upset about Idris Elba not coming back for Alien Covenant, but I'm kidding, guys.
He died.
Spoiler,
Yeah,
he died.
Exactly. I was gonna say
He died like a hero, though.
I mean, all right, we already spoiled it. Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't he die?
Not like Charlie Theron, who, you know, that was. Anyways, so Noomi Rapace, yeah, I mean, she was one of the highlights in the movie. Now, for me, it was so clear that Ridley Scott wanted this to be an original film, but he couldn't get around all the alien Easter eggs, references. You know, you see the xenomorph thing at the end, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is clearly.
Why didn't he just make a movie not related to Alien if he wanted it to be so separate? I don't know.
Because he was so intrigued by. All right, so the Prometheus was originally a script for an Alien prequel.
Yeah.
But Ridley Scott was so fascinated by the engineers and the question, where did humans come from, that he changed the story around to make it, an original movie. But there was still so many alien references in the movie because he says it takes place in the same universe.
Okay. So.
And no, it's confusing. It's confusing for me too, because while I was watching the movie, I was doing research online because I was like, this is confusing me. Like, is this an alien movie or is this a Prometheus? So it took me some research to understand, but As for Noomi Rapace, yeah, it's gonna be really unfortunate not to see your character. It's gonna be one of those Will Smith from Independence Day things, where they say the character died, but none of us are really buying it, but we have to because we're sitting there watching a movie. I don't know. I mean, Ridley Scott, he has some momentum now with The Martian. We're gonna see where he goes with this Alien Covenant thing. It's clear that he was listening to the Alien fans when they said, you're just bullshitting us with Prometheus. Say it's an Alien prequel, and he probably, decided, I'm not gonna let this Blomkamp guy take my, franchise and this and that. So I'm gonna take over Alien and, build off of what I tried to do. But so far, the absence of Noomi Rapace is not a good start. But we'll see where it goes. You guys have anything else you want to say?
Nope.
Well, I want to say one thing. Do we think that the name change from Prometheus to Alien is going to have any more success on the movie?
Oh, I think it's a total cop out.
It's gonna make more money that way. I think so. I
was
still
wondering.
think to this day, casual movie fans don't know that Prometheus is connected to the Alien universe.
No, I don't think they do either.
Like they really don't, and they wouldn't. I don't expect them to know. I didn't know when I first watched the movie, honestly.
Right.
But I wasn't involved in movie news and stuff like that back then. So I don't know how they're gonna go about doing it, but my prediction as for now is that it's lazy. He doesn't want to explain what happened in between those events, so he's like, I'm just gonna tell a new story set in the Alien universe.
Well, because nobody's gonna believe it.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we'll see. What the movie could be freaking great.
I just wanted to see her take on engineers, man. That's all I wanted to do.
I mean, we'll see. It could be great.
I think the ending was the best part of that movie, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say so too, actually.
Yeah. Well, what does matter, Jacob? The Power Rangers reboot adding Elizabeth Banks as the villain, Rita Repulsa. What do you think about this?
All right. So, Power Rangers was pretty much sums up my childhood. Look, it was Star Wars, always number one, Star Wars, and then Power Rangers right below it. One of the first movies I ever the movie I remember seeing in theaters, the youngest. I can't remember any other movie before this was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie that came out, which I love that movie still to this day. I have no shame, but and I get it. It's hokey, it's cheesy. It is. I'll be the first to admit that, and trust me, I know it is. And it's like if you didn't grow up watching it as a kid, you'll think it's stupid, and I agree. I can't argue with that, but they're making this movie. They are having Rita in the movie. And before this, there's another character who's Rita's husband, quote, not really, but he is her husband. His name's Zed, Lord Zed. I would have liked to see him as the main villain. I think they'll bring him in later, but because Rita is so cheesy. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen her. I'm sure you have.
I have.
She's very just loud and obnoxious and yelling all the time, and she's just cheesy and annoying. But they cast the perfect woman to play this role. I don't think they're gonna make her that cheesy.
No.
I forget what they said, but there was a rumor going around of what type of character she was gonna be, and they kind of basically summed it up that she's like a badass. Like she's an alien. She kind of looks like alien-ish, and she's she's like a warrior, a hunter, a badass. So if they're going in that direction, mixed in with a little bit of the yelling, cheesy Rita, Elizabeth Banks is the perfect actress to play this. And I've been a huge fan of Elizabeth Banks ever since 40-Year-Old Virgin. She's amazing, and I think she could do drama too, like dramatic, a little bit of drama in there. But
so you haven't got a chance to see Love and Mercy yet?
I haven't.
She's really
Is
good.
she?
Yeah.
I enjoy her in literally everything I've seen her in. I've never been annoyed by her or not liked her in a movie. There was that one movie.
Walk of Shame?
Yeah, it was a horrible movie, but I enjoyed it because of her. So, this is great news. Look, I'm holding out hope for the Power Rangers movie, and I'm looking forward to it. There's some really cool science fiction things you can do with it. This is nothing but great news that they casted her. Trust me, I know Power Rangers, I know the Rita character. This is perfect casting.
Jake?
I mean, I'm not as big of a Power Rangers dude as Jacob over here, but I watched it as a kid. I don't remember a lot of it. I just remember teenagers becoming superheroes and whatnot. But so I don't know a whole lot about the Rita character herself, but going off of casting Elizabeth Banks, just as Jacob, I've been a huge fan of her for years. I absolutely adore her and everything she does. And you know, she's always in these side roles, and you know, she's always a supporting character, but it's always a very good supporting character, and she seems to be picking the right roles as of late, especially. And so having her pick a Power Rangers movie role, it's a good sign because she knows what she's doing, and a lot of people are after her for a lot of stuff, whether it's comedy, drama, directing now. It's like, so she's all over the map, and for her to be cast in a Power Rangers movie is a big deal. You know, I don't know if it's going to be serious or like comedic or whatnot, but I would love to see a darker version of it, personally.
So would I. But
I don't think it's going to happen.
I think it's going to have the cheesy
I think so too.
jokiness to it, which, you know, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
But, hey, you know, it could work.
Yeah, and so, but as far as casting Elizabeth Banks, kudos to you guys, because I mean she's definitely great, and I'm very interested to see her as a villain too, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's a great point you added. Like she had to have gotten the script and read it, and she had to agree to do it. You know, I don't think, you know, she's the type of actress to just take a paycheck. Like, you know, every actor is gonna do their job to get paid, obviously, but I don't think they offered her a ton of money to come do it, and all the people cast as Power Rangers are completely unknowns. So she's perfect to have a known actress. You have to have somebody, a recognizable face in the movie. So those two things, like, I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, I don't really have that much more to add. It's a perfect casting, I think, about her role in the Hunger Games.
Effie.
It should be pretty similar to that kookiness type of role.
Yeah, and you have the dude from Project Almanac directing. So, you know, this is coming together really well. You know, we'll see. I mean, everyone seems to not think this could go well because they think about robots coming together, you know, and fighting. But you think about like Pacific Rim, Transformers, that kind of stuff. I'm not saying they're going to be as, you know.
Well, I don't think they're going to put that big of a budget behind it.
Right.
But
yeah.
Think about that. You could do something really cool. And think about this. I didn't mind Project Almanac.
I enjoyed it. I had a really good time with it.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I forget
good
what
time
is
with
the
it.
director's name. I know it, but I always forget it. But so you got him directing, which it's not a bad film. And you got the writers of X-Men First Class and the first Thor, and now you have Elizabeth Banks basically putting her stamp of approval on the movie and being cast as the main villain. Other than it being a Power Rangers property, like if you just heard that director, those writers, Elizabeth Banks is going to be the villain, wouldn't you be more excited? Just the fact that it's Power Rangers, you know, lowers your expectations. But
and the damn title, Saban's Power Rangers.
Oh,
it's not
get
Power
that
Rangers.
shit.
Well,
out
not
of
only
here.
that,
Power Rangers.
but he's going to have final say on everything that goes down. So that worries me.
Not only that, but I mean, that short that was released online a few years ago is still stuck in my head.
Oh.
That dark with
That's
Katie
freaking
Sackhoff
awesome.
and
See,
James Vanderbeek.
They would never go that dark, but if they did something like that,
Like a Halo style Power Rangers.
well, look at the tone of Hunger Games. It's still PG-13, but very dark. They could do the same type of tone. But anyways, I think we had enough Power Rangers today.
Yeah. So we're gonna do rapid fire real quick. I'm gonna throw out some subjects, and you guys tell me what you think about them. We'll do one by one this time. So there's a new comedy coming out starring. Well, they haven't started production yet, but it's a comedy set in outer space. It's gonna star Bill Hader, Zach Galifianakis, and Seth Rogen. Directed by the screenwriter for 22 Jump Street. So, Jacob, you're a big comedy guy. What do you think about this combination?
I love it. I always say, look, you got all these great actors, whether it's drama or comedy or anything. Why not, you know, put these great ensembles together? Look, I'm a huge Seth Rogen fan. I really like Bill Hader, especially after Train. I thought he was great in Trainwreck. He's never really had, I mean, smaller movies, but he's never really had that, you know, a leading or a second leading role. And I thought he carried Trainwreck as being the male lead really well. And, you know, Zach Galifianakis, I'm 50-50 with him. Like, I enjoy half of his movies a lot, and some of it. But actually, after Birdman, I think he should try to do some more dramatic stuff. And still comedy, because he's still funny in Birdman, but very different type of humor. And we haven't seen, first of all, I hope this is rated R. This better be rated R. We haven't seen, like, a hard R comedy in space. I mean, not any time recently. So I'm excited about this. I really am.
Jake?
I mean, yeah, Zach Galifianakis, I'm kind of tired of him. It's kind of the same old comedy with him. Seth Rogen, I'm 50-50 on because I don't like some of his stuff. I do like some of his stuff. It all kind of feels the same every once in a while. But Bill Hader's the one that I'm most excited about. Just like you, I thought he was phenomenal in Trainwreck.
Yeah.
What he's been doing lately is so good. I thought he was amazing in Inside Out as his voice.
Oh, true. He was.
And so
great as
that's what will get me to the theater watching him. I don't want it to be the normal Seth Rogen comedy. I don't want it to be the normal slapstick Seth Rogen hour and a half, 2 hour comedy that we see year in, year out. That's kind of what scares me, but hopefully the space factor is a little bit different and it brings something different to the movie.
Yeah, this is an easy buy for me. I thought, well, the first time I saw Bill Hader was with Seth Rogen as cops in Superbad.
I didn't even think about that.
They were awesome.
Great in Superbad.
Yeah, they were awesome.
And then you throw Galifianakis in there.
Galifianakis, I think he excels in the third role. I'm talking about like in The Hangover, where he's kind of like, you have the two lead guys, and then he's that guy.
Yeah,
that
that's
along,
true.
So hopefully they go that route. Evan Goldberg producing, that's always a good sign. With Seth Rogen. So yeah, it's an easy buy for all of us. Now, how about Cabin Fever remake trailer? Do you guys buy or sell it?
I buy it.
Yeah.
And I said this when I wrote it up, but I have not been able to see the original yet, so I can't connect the two as far as what it looks like compared to the original, whatever. But I've heard it's very, very similar. Like it's almost a shot-for-shot remake, but it looks gory, it looks hoary, it looks bloody,
yeah.
Hoary. I mean, it looks like the classic Eli Roth gore fest.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's best at. And
is Eli Roth directing this?
Well, he's producing.
Oh, okay.
Because he directed the original. So it looks like a crazy trip fest. It looks like total chaos. I really enjoyed the whole local homicidal aspect of it, with the locals, killing these kids or going after these kids and whatnot. The one thing that's crazy though is the freaking infected dogs. And I've always said this, but you go after a dog in a movie, man, you're gonna kill me. And they did it in John Wick. They're doing it in this, and I'm sure it's gonna hurt watching it. But I'll buy the trailer for now. I can't really compare it to the original. I just don't hope it's a shot-for-shot remake because that kind of gets boring. But it looks like a crazy horror movie, and we need a crazy good horror movie because we don't get very many of those anymore.
Jacob?
So I haven't watched the trailer yet. I missed it in the notes. It wasn't bolded. But I'm kind of looking at it. Oh, wow. I'm kind of watching it right now. I'm not listening to it. But it looks pretty darn gory. And, they're in the bed and he starts touching the girl's panties and their blood. That's creepy, and she spits up blood. When did the original come out? Do you guys know?
2003, 2?
Yeah, it was like 10,
So
over 10 years ago.
Not so long ago. It's a remake of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's based off of an original script from the original movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, have you guys seen the first one?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, no. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about it, but I'm all for gore. The thing that actually makes me sell it is Eli Roth, because I was really looking forward to Green Inferno last year. I was so excited for that movie. It is effing horrible. Actually, I rewatched it the other night because my brothers hadn't seen it yet, and I said Boy Next Door was my worst movie. Green Inferno was the worst movie of last year, and because it's so, my brothers, they don't critique movies, and my brother was laughing his ass off how bad it was. It's horrible. So, and I didn't mind it as much, but what was the one, Knock Knock? It was kind of a little bit of a guilty pleasure for me last year, but still horrible movie. So
luckily he's not directing.
Exactly. So I don't know who's directing it, but it looks pretty cool. We don't get a lot of good horror movies anymore, so I hope it's good.
I sell this. They all look like dumbasses in the trailer. I've never seen the first one, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a lot of those stupid, convenient type things, oh, my cell phone died, or, oh, we're running out of gas, or we got to stop the car, or, oh, we split up in different directions, or something like that. It's a lot of the tropes. And, I mean, I got to be fair. The movie comes out when?
Sometime later this year.
If you guys go, I'll go with you. Let's go check it out. I'm going to go in there with an open mind. But from the trailer, I just got turned off. I don't know. I do like the dog thing, though. That's a little ballsy.
Yep.
We're going to see what happens with that.
Infected dogs, man.
Infected dogs, yeah. So I mean, for me, it's just I don't know. We're gonna see. Right now, I sell it, but you know, we're obviously all gonna go and see what that's all about. So something a little more exciting. This summer, production on a lot of major films coming out next year are starting. So I'm gonna ask you guys after I name this off. What do you think is what are you most excited about? So here are the films starting production this summer to release next year. You have Wolverine 3, Avatar 2, Alien Covenant, Ghost in Shell, Transformers 5, Blade Runner 2, and 50 Shades Darker. So out of all these movies starting production this summer, what are you most excited about and why?
For me,
Somebody take it.
it's, I mean,
You only get one.
Avatar 2 is out of the box. There's no way I would be excited for that one. 50 Shades Darker, that one's out of the box. Transformers 5, that one's out of the box because Michael Bay.
The same one.
Alien Covenant is probably out of the box because what we just talked about. Ghost in the Shell is an interesting one because it has Scarlett Johansson attached, and it's based off of very, very, very popular source material. But here's the thing. We don't know a lot about Wolverine 3. And if it's a storyline that we've all been wanting to be adapted, that one easily takes the cake. But as of right now, I'm going Blade Runner 2 because we don't know a whole lot about Wolverine 3.
Okay.
If it was the old man Logan storyline,
I mean,
it would be easily
you didn't like
3.
Blade Runner, but I mean, it's the director and Ryan Gosling. It's going to be totally
Ryan
different.
Gosling, Harrison Ford, Denis Villeneuve,
The director.
which I've loved every single movie he's done so far. You have Roger Deakins coming on board, and
Ridley Scott producing.
Yeah, well, that doesn't really do anything for me. But that main core, it's like if it wasn't titled Blade Runner 2 and you had all those names attached, you would go to the movie instantly.
Oh yeah.
So that one is easily the most exciting for me. But again, I can't leave out Wolverine 3 because if it is in fact Old Man Logan that's being adapted, I will shit my pants if that's what happens. Like I will. It's a story that I've wanted to see for very long, and the fact that it's Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine role.
Yeah.
I can see it happening, and if it happened, I would be so effing excited.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, okay, so you chose Blade Runner, so maybe we're not going to have the same, but it's hands down Wolverine 3 for me. I don't care what story they're adapting. I would love for it to be Old Man Logan, but I don't care what it is. First of all, it's Hugh Jackman's supposedly his last Wolverine film. I mean, I'm not mad if it is.
It will be.
He's served us for 20 years. You've done enough for us, but I mean, look, I'm actually really interested in Ghost in the Shell. We already talked about Alien Covenant. Don't care about Avatar 2. Don't care about Transformers 5. 50 Shades Darker. Interesting. But Wolverine 3, I'm a huge X-Men fan. The original X-Men is in my top 10 movies of all time. If this is Wolverine's send-off, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine's send-off, I'm so in. And I'm pretty sure it's confirmed that Patrick Stewart's in it, right? But
not confirmed, but almost confirmed.
Yeah. If he has a huge part in it, I actually hope James Marsden is in it as Cyclops.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
We might not see him again ever, and they have a history, so I want to see their interaction. And I know in the Old Man Logan comic book, there's a role. I think Hawkeye has a big role in it, and obviously, they can't use Hawkeye, so I think James Marsden's Cyclops would be a perfect, fill-in for that role. If maybe they find a way to make it Professor X, but I would hope maybe James Marsden's in it. But regardless, I don't care what's involved. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine 3 takes the cake for sure.
Yeah, I hope they bring back Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth.
Yeah, that too.
That was awesome. Mine was Wolverine 3. But I'm gonna go with my runner-up just for
to talk something
a little
different. Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell.
Avatar 2. Avatar 2, fellas.
Never mind.
Now let me
turn off the mic. No, I'm just kidding.
let me just recap a little bit. All right, James Cameron knows sequels better than anyone. He directed Alien 2, Aliens, which is arguably better than the original Alien. He did Terminator Judgment Day, which is, I mean, some would agree is actually many would agree.
Fans agree, but Terminator 1 is actually rated
better.
higher.
The original Terminator?
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it's a great film. It really is. And now he's doing Avatar 2, a property that he created, and you know he's been spending years on doing it. And you know, if anybody knows sequels, it's this guy. So I think we should all be excited because Aliens, Terminator 2, Avatar 2. Like, I think he's gonna knock it out of the park. I have nothing to back it up.
You just said key word though. You said he's been taking years to do it.
Yeah.
It'd be almost 10 years by the time it comes out. That's why
I just think the momentum is died. I mean, the momentum died a long time ago, but
it's gonna pick up.
Yeah.
Watch, when marketing starts for Avatar 2, people are gonna be like, "What?" And I know the only way this is gonna work.
That'll be the same thing for Transformers 5.
The only way this is gonna work is if what James Cameron has been working on, this underwater technology, it like really wows our minds, because you know.
Well, that's the problem for me. I want the story to be good.
Well, he's focusing on the.
That's what I want. I want the story and the dialogue to be good. If the story and dialogue isn't good, then I can care less about the visual aspects of it. Don't get me wrong. I think he's gonna blow us away again. But
yeah.
You think? I don't know. I think a movie has to have the backbone of a good script and good dialogue to even be worth watching, in my opinion.
Otherwise, it's another Ridley Scott movie from the last 10 years.
Maybe. Exactly. Other than The Martian.
Written by Drew Goddard. And the last thing we're going to do, this is a little new. I want to try it just because we have a little feature on our site. I want to give it a little more recognition. Every Sunday I do a Showdown Sunday where I put two movie related things together. It could be actors, directors, composers, so on and so forth. And I throw down a question for you guys, for our followers out there, and they vote on who is the better. So this week I decided to go with two composers who I feel are really on the same level. James Horner, best known for doing Braveheart. He did Titanic. He did Field of Dreams. And his opponent is Hans Zimmer, who did The Rock, Lion King, The Dark Knight, Inception. And I didn't want to ask who was better because I felt like that would have been a little disrespectful. So I want to know who was greater between James Horner and Hans Zimmer. Did you guys have a chance to look at it? Do you have an opinion on who do you think is...
Yeah, I mean, I checked out your article on there because I had to just refresh my mind of which ones they've done. And look...
Both are Oscar-winning...
They're both great. They both have some classic historical music and some modern stuff. I actually... so he only did Amazing Spider-Man?
He didn't do number 2. That was actually Hans Zimmer. I should have thrown that in.
Oh, hey... How ironic.
I know, right?
I was going to say, I really like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 score. I really do.
Really?
I do. I love it, actually. You didn't like it?
I like the first one more.
Stupid words with the whole electro crap.
Come on. You know I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the opening one when he's flying down. And, yeah, that's great. Not the... No. Come on now.
Not the one with...
a score is a score, you know?
I meant... Yeah, I should have said the specific single score, the main score. But for me, I gotta go Hans Zimmer. No disrespect to Horner. For Lion King, come on now. Mm-hmm. And then Dark Knight. I love the Dark Knight score. It's freaking incredible. But yeah, those two movies stand out to me the most. So just neither one is better than the other. But for my personal likings and my personal choice, I'm gonna go Hans Zimmer.
What about you, Jake?
Yeah, I mean. Each of them have movies that I absolutely adore. I mean, James Horner has Aliens, which is my favorite Alien movie. Field of Dreams. You guys know I'm a baseball fanatic, and Field of Dreams is one of my top favorite movies of all time. But then you have Braveheart, which Braveheart you can go without saying. That movie is freaking amazing. Mm-hmm. Which you just recently watched for the first time. Did you not?
A couple months ago, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Avatar, Amazing Spider-Man. I liked Amazing Spider-Man more than Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I'll give you that one score. The Avenger score was great.
The opening one.
Yeah. But for me, it's Hans Zimmer. The Lion King and Gladiator are both of my top 10 movies of all time. And partly is because of the music. We never really talk about scores, but the music is it's real without knowing. Normal audiences members, they don't know, but the music is really what gives you that experience with the movie. And especially with those two movies alone, they're just so phenomenal. The Last Samurai, that one's incredible. Tom Cruise in there. Jacob had mentioned the Dark Knight. Inception's actually in my top 10 as well. So I have 3 movies of his in my top 10 movies all time. Interstellar, which one of my best buddies, every time we talk, man, he's furious that Hans Zimmer was not nominated for an Oscar for Interstellar. And I'll give him it because the score he did for that was it was remarkable. It's one of the best of all times in my opinion. So mine is definitely Hans Zimmer. I mean, what the guy does behind the mic is ridiculous. And I'm very excited to see what he does. I mean, he does everything so well, every genre, every kind of film. I mean, his list is variety full. And but like Jacob had said, neither of them are better. They're all great, and it's unfortunate that we won't ever see a James Horner one again. Sadly,
Magnificent Seven, maybe.
Yeah, he did write that, but who knows if they'll actually use it, if it'll actually fit the movie. I hope it does, because that would be great. But for me personally, it would be Hans Zimmer. So
yeah, I'm gonna go the same with you guys, Hans Zimmer. For me, they're both equally matched, but I'm just more attached to Hans Zimmer. His work, The Rock, Michael Bay's best movie, starring Sean Connery. Gladiator. Oh god, every time I hear that end score, it gets to me. And The Dark Knight. I mean, come on, we all know how amazing and a phenomenon that was. So Hans Zimmer for me, but they're both just as great.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was our our rapid fire segment again, and the Showdown Sunday, which we're gonna try to do from now on. So thank you all for listening. This is the Apocaflix Movie News Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Bartley. You can find me on Twitter at JacobBartley_, Instagram, Jacob Ryan Bartley, and on this YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. I want to thank Gio Ramos for gathering the news topics for us today. Where can they find you online, Gio?
You guys can find me on Twitter at GioRamos24 and at the Larkspur Landing Hotel this afternoon.
Yeah, Gio started a new job today. Wish him luck, everybody. And I also want to thank Jake Berlin for joining us today. Where can they find you online?
Twitter, Instagram at Qui-Gon Jake. Hit that like, share, follow button.
Yes, please. And check out our Padawan podcast. Check out our Comic Hero Talks. Check out Rumor Central. Check out everything. We're doing a lot over here at Apocaflix Movies. And we'll see you guys next time.